Yeah, I've always interested in little. Oh, it's got a nice little flip out as well. That's quite cool. Onboard image stabilization, or
Yeah, it's okay. It's good for photography. For filming, it's a bit naff.
I guess just push it back down, right?
Yeah, but then it turns itself off. That's the thing. That's the annoying thing about it.
Yeah.
Right, so this is my final meeting of the day, and it is Filmstro. Now, if you guys remember, I reviewed Filmstro, I don't know, like a month ago, and these guys reached out because I got some things wrong. So this is Zach. Nice to meet you.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. Let's kick off. Why don't you tell me what is Filmstro about, or who is it for, and what does it do?
So Filmstro is a music library that allows users, which are predominantly filmmakers and videographers, to recompose or adapt their music to their film or video.
So essentially you're getting rid of having to pay £50, £400 for one track by enabling filmmakers to make their own music.
Yeah, effectively. Quite often in the video content creation world, you have two options. You can either go to a static music library or a composer. Quite more often than not, composers are more expensive. Music libraries can offer a variety, but you're more than likely to hear that those tracks elsewhere, as well as the fact that they're static. So what Filmstro does is it almost finds a middle ground between the two, where we are a music library that hosts a variety of different tracks, and our software lets you play with the momentum, depth and power of each track.
So basically I could have a track that no one else has, using like loops and the libraries that you have. I can adapt it. And
Yeah. I mean, it is one of those things. You could give the same track to two totally different creatives, and you'd see the finished result would sound very different.
The music libraries, I can look for hours trying to find the thing that not only has the right feel but fits well in terms of the beats. But a composer, I guess you might have that conversation of going back and forth, and it's never quite right, maybe, and so that's what you're trying to address.
Yeah, it avoids all sorts of issues, and one of them I think you've just highlighted is you don't have to rely on anyone else to kind of make the tweaks. You can do that yourself if you're in an edit and it's time sensitive.
So I mean, for me, I've got a music background, so I think I've probably got a bit of a step up. So if a filmmaker has no music experience, how easy is this for them to come to it and know what to do?
So I'm musically challenged, so I wouldn't, if I was talking to a composer and they told me, this is the register and this is that, I would be clueless. The terminology with Filmstro is momentum, depth and power. They're the three sliders that one gets to tweak.
The last time I'd used it, it was his own software, and I had to make the film and then put it in, and sometimes particularly on a corporate job, you might want to edit to the track or not necessarily edit the film, then put it in somewhere. But you guys said that actually you can put it into your editing software.
It's probably the most exciting thing for me, which is having access to a music library directly inside your editing suite. So that's Premiere Pro and Final Cut. And not only is it just a music library, it's an adaptive music library, which means you're effectively scoring your track directly within your edit. You never have to leave. I mean, this is one of the most amazing things I found was I didn't have to leave Premiere when editing a show reel or a video together.
Yeah. Okay, so I am back in the old edit studio, and I'm about to take a look at putting in some Filmstro music. Now I'm just going to say right off the bat, everything from the Brighton vlog last week was using Filmstro music. Everything. Now this is just a review of the Premiere Pro window version of it, because that's how I want to use it. For me, what's going to separate this from anything else is, can it work in Premiere Pro? And the answer is yes, but let's take a look. Download it onto your computer, and then you just go to Windows, Extension, Filmstro, and it's there. Now you can watch a video that shows you basically how to use it in Premiere Pro. I like to learn by doing, so I just went through and had a crack. So what you get is you get three panels. You get Library, Editor, and Sessions. Library, pretty simple, is where all the music is stored. Editor is when you decide to play around with a music track, and Sessions is where you save it. Because here's the catch. As a Premiere Pro project, just, Control Save, it won't save the version you're working on. You have to save that as a session, otherwise that is gone. Unless you actually render it and export it into the timeline, then that final rendered version will always be in the timeline anytime you hit Control Save. But if you want to go back and tweak, go back and adjust, then you need to be saving it as a session. So don't get caught out by that. Now, the first thing you need to do is set your in and out point. This is a very useful feature. What it means is that it basically tells the plugin you want to be composing music for this section here. So every time you listen to a new bit of music, it will loop that part for you. When you're looking on a library online and you hit play, you try to hit play at the same time on your Premiere Pro, it gets complicated and it gets annoying really fast. And then you go to a new one. Now you have here a library with different ways of finding music you want. You have mood, film and video genre, music genre, or instrumental palette. Quite useful if you want to do something like, let's say horror. You want to look at horror. You might go with this. It's quite a good track actually. And what you've seen there is that you can actually play around with the sliders in the preview version very easily and just kind of get a sense of what the whole track can entail. Because you can alter it and you can adjust it, it gives you an idea of what it has, but then you can go in there and really see what you can do with it. Momentum is kind of the speed, the intensity, the kind of rhythm. So you might have like no momentum is like, but the high momentum is like da 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 da. Depth is basically the type of instrument going on, in the sense of like the lower the depth, the more it's going to be the high end instruments like violins, guitars, something like that. The lower end is going to be like the double bass, or you know, maybe the drums or the cello or something. Power is essentially like more of. Just to have a quick look at instrumental palette, you've got things like solo piano, whistling, so you know, you might have very corporate. The music library has a lot of options in there. What it used to do was download everything and it just would crash all the time. Now, you choose what package you want to download. So it comes with like a set standard, and then you can go into the actual Filmstro software and think, yeah, I want the family and kids album. So then you can hear them but without downloading them. And then if you like them, you can download it. I think you have to download the whole album as opposed to a single track, but you can prioritize the tracks as it's doing it. Yeah, so let's find the track that I wanted to use. Now, the reason I like this track is the variety in it. So this is with nothing. That's a wine film. If I bump up the momentum the whole way, I get this. Just a bit more. So just a bit more there. Depth, it will sound completely different because it'll be a different type of instrument. And if I have it in the middle, then you get a bit of both. Stop. And if I was to do those two together at full pelt, I'd get this. Get the idea. And power, I can't remember what this would sound like. So you can hear how the different combinations gives you a lot of variety, which is why I like this one. So what I'm going to do is hit the plus sign, and then it takes me into the editor window, which is where you make the changes. So it starts it all with 0, which is perfect, what I want. And now I'm just going to play along. And here's the thing. You can either do it using keyframes. You can keyframe where you want it. And you have a timeline here, so you can see where you're at in regards to your track. But actually, you might prefer just to do it by live out as it goes. You just draw on these and figure out what you want to adjust when you want to do it, and then you can go in and pinpoint it more with your keyframes. So I like the kind of Hawaiian sound, which meant I need the depth down the bottom, but I want a little bit of the power and a little bit more momentum that's given me. So I'm going to start there. That actually went pretty well. So I'm gonna go in and then change those ones to start, just higher up at the beginning, which is what I wanted. Same with power. Let's give it a little bit of a raise over here. And you can actually delete keyframes. Okay, so now this is the track I've just created this in 40 seconds. Something I'm gonna recommend is give yourself a little bit of a tail at the end. Give yourself that out point a little bit longer, so you've then got a tail that you can end with, which might be a little bit nicer. So I'm going to do just that, which is what I've just done there. So I've extended the tail. And I'm also, the beats in the music have actually made me think I want to put in another cut there. So it does help you. That's why I want to do it in Premiere Pro, because I can keep editing. And I actually want the power to be a little bit higher than what it is. Oh, I've made a mistake there. Alt Z, not Control Z. Alt Z is how you undo these mistakes on this one. Selecting the keyframes is a bit of a... Zoom in and out works the same in the window as it does on Premiere Pro. So in the Filmstro program, which I'm going to run through in a separate vlog, you've got a bit more control about when the beats fall in the music. With this, you kind of had to just go along with what's there. But I don't mind that, because I can work around that in the edit, which is the best thing about having this inside the edit. The undo feature is a bit buggy. I'm not going to lie about that. I'm not going to lie about anything, but that is something to watch out for. So the track has worked pretty perfectly in what I want. The using it is a little bit tricky because sometimes trying to move the arrow, you end up hitting a new key mark and then it adds and you don't want it, and then you hit undo and it goes a little bit weird. But that's okay, because this is the problem we have. We expect things just to work perfectly, and because this is very, very intelligent bit of software that they're still developing, and it's inside, it's what you've got to remember, it's inside Premiere Pro. This is a remarkable bit of software, and I can forgive that for what it's enabling me to do. This on Final Cut Pro is a lot more advanced, and I would never use Final Cut Pro, but if you do, you can actually adjust it in the timeline on a waveform. That's ridiculous. That's what, if Premiere Pro had that, I don't think I would ever use anything else again. This has worked great so far. I'm just going to tweak it, and I'm going to put it in. I'm happy with how it sounds, so I'm going to hit render. You can name whatever you want. I'm just going to leave it... I'm going to name this Brighton, spelled correctly, Brighton Real. Let's go with that. Render. Let's time how long this takes. Here we go. I'm going to hit render. Same time I hit this. Okay, ready? Now you've got to wait for it to go green. That's when you know it's good to go. What are we on? 13 seconds. Boom. Stop. Okay, that was about 14 seconds there. 14 seconds to render music track. Pretty good. So drag it in. And now you have your complete music track finished, done, as a waveform. And now you can go in and re-edit and sync it up to where you want, as you'd have to do if you bought something off a library. I'm also going to apologise about the light dipping in and out. It's because there's a window there. I didn't have time to set up 3-point lighting. I'm very, very busy. Okay. I'm genuinely really impressed with that. Now I'm going to tell you briefly about what I tried to use for earlier where it got complicated. I edited 2 music tracks together, but they were in the wrong key. My own fault, it tells you what key they're in. But I found 2 that I liked, put them together. But then when I shifted it across in the timeline, and I realised I needed to extend it out further, going back in and setting your in and out, it got difficult. It got quite messy. Make the track you want, and then make a longer version of it so you've got something to play with. Unless your edit is locked. If you've got a locked edit, then just compose it as you want, which is what it's for. This whole thing is made from a composer's point of view, where the film is finished and then you add in music. But as you and I know, sometimes you're going to get the music and then tweak, and then clients want different things and you have to adjust it. So that's why you should always keep the sessions, always save the sessions if you can. So do I recommend this? 100%. Get the demo version, try it out. It is a very, very intelligent bit of software that I will use again. What am I going to use it for? I'm going to use it for little things like that, little moments in vlogs. I might not use it for like a corporate job where I want like just a generic track, but then again I might very well. But for anything like narrative based, where I want to control my own pacing with ebbs and flow, I think I will. And being able to change the depth more than anything, being able to change what instruments in there, and then being able to ramp it up when I choose to, I love that. I really do. I think the user face and the usability of it is pretty strong. I think, you know, just the little tweaks here or there. I think trying to move the marker and accidentally creating new keyframes gets a little bit annoying. Hitting the keyframes is a bit difficult. And what would be really nice is having the option to control, to like select a load of keyframes and move them in tandem together, so that way you could extend the timeline and then just move those moments in and out when you want. Or being able to like hit one button that basically chooses momentum, depth and power no matter where they are, and bumps them up by the same amount or drops them by the same amount. That's what I'd like to see. But actually, like, for what they're trying to do, this is something else. The Filmstro software platform is pretty strong on its own, but I don't like to work like that. I want something in the edit, which is why I will probably use this more than a library now, because it's in there. I don't have to go to the web to find my music. It's all here. I love what the Filmstro team are trying to do, trying to achieve, and they showed me something they're working on, which I'm not even joking when I say it could be an industry game changer. So, you know, this is not just for filmmakers, this is for composers as well. I'm going to leave it at that, but like I say, everything from the Brighton vlog, all that music came from here. You got my thumbs up, Filmstro guys. Awesome job, really awesome job. Now I'm going to finish off this edit and get it out there. So I will see you next time. Oh, and I'll leave a link down below. Okay, check out the link, get it, try it, do magic.